and welcome. I'm just going to record a short video today to show you how you can set up your phone to use ChromaMagic to mix colours exactly and match them to the screen. It's not a complicated process, but it's much easier if I just show you how to do it rather than try and explain in words or have a web page, etc, etc. So let's get going. I will switch over to Canvas Cam. Here we go. Right, so I have my phone. I'm just going to start up ChromaMagic. It's the interface. I've got one of my own photos in there, which we won't be using. And so just a quick overview of what it does. If you're watching this video, you probably know how to use it already. But you load up your reference photo and you can click anywhere in the photo. Let's click, I don't know, over here, maybe a light one. And the image color appears here, and then the closest muscle chip swatch is highlighted in one of these lovely color cards. And it shows you immediately what the hue is, which is kind of an orangey red. It shows you immediately what the value is. It's a value 8. And the other thing, which is so crucial for painting, and I missed out on this for years and years and had years of frustration, is what the chroma is. What is the intensity of the color? So it's very gray over at the left and very bright over on the right. Very bright, very intense, very saturated. And one of the nice things about ChromaMagic is that we can select this color and it'll bring up a full screen swatch of the actual color. Now ideally we'd like to be able to mix paint on our palettes and then match to the screen, but this is the problem, is that the brightest value we can get with paint is white. Now I'm a watercolor paper, so the brightest value I can get is this white paper, and you can see immediately that this white paper is darker than this value 8, and the darkest value we can get is black. So the range of values in paint is much, much smaller than what we can get on the screen, and also what we can get from the world around us. But we're concentrating on the screen. So in order to be able to really match colors to the screen, we need to make the range of values on our screen match the range of values in our paint. And so how do we do that? So it's too bright. I'm going to take that swatch down. What we need to do is bring up a white swatch of color. Now there's a little Easter egg in here. If you click on the help, this little question mark icon, and then tap and hold this wheel, you can drag it over onto the main screen and you'll have a nice wheel in there. And it's nice to be able to see the little charts, which we're not going to use those right now. Well, we'll use them later. But we have a white background, and that's what we want. So let's bring up our white background. Right, so that is what the screen is saying the brightest value we can get is. And you can see, I'm going to use a piece of white paper. Actually, I'm going to use my value scale white. So this is the whitest thing we can get in paint. If I put it next to, I do it this way, maybe. Yeah, much, much too dark. So if we're matching to this screen, we're never going to get these values. So what do? Simply, we take down the brightness of the screen until it matches our lightest value, which in this case is going to be my white of the value scale. You could use a piece of white paper, like so, just right next to it. Or if you want to use titanium white might be slightly lighter than white paper. Put a swatch of titanium white on a piece of card and use that. So let's take our brightness down and match it. Swipe up from the bottom, and if you press and hold the brightness, it'll make it full screen. Now this brightness is, yeah, the phone will come back into a better exposure soon, and bring down the value. Now what this value is of the brightness will depend, it will depend on your phone, it will very much depend on your ambient light as well. Generally it's quite low. You'll be quite surprised how dim your phone has to be to do this. So I'm going to put it around there. It's around, 30, 35, 40%. Let's try that. And put our, I'm going to use my value scale for this. Let me just move that out of the way. And put that next to it. How's that now? To my eyes, that's not bad. Maybe a little bright still. It's still a little bright, but it's close. So let's do this again. It takes just a couple of goes to do this. Just bring that down slightly. And it's usually in the same area, because I generally paint in the studio. And then that value, to my eyes, it looks the same, and to the screen, that looks pretty much the same. So we now know if we keep that brightness for this session anyway, if you've got a lot of light coming in through the windows, you may have to change it. We will always be able to match that value in paint. We can get the highest value. The highest value in paint will be the highest value in ChromaMagic. So let's test it. I'm not going to do any mixing, but I am going to do some matching to some Munsell chips. Let me just zoom out and show you the cards. So I'm sure a lot of you know about this Munsell Book of Colour. It's a beautiful thing. However, it costs $1,500. And is, well, yeah, I mean, if you have $1,500 burning a hole in your pocket and you have nothing better to do with it, it's a really good thing to buy. And it's a set of 40 cards, 40 hues, all the way around the colour wheel. And they have from values from 9 to 2, and then all the different chromas. So it has 1,600 of these, and these are painted and are accurate enough. They do vary. Nothing is ever perfectly accurate, I find, with these things. Okay, so I'm going to take some of these. If I just get one out, let me put it back on Zoom. Let's do this nice red one. And they're labelled on the back. So this is a 10R. So mid-value, orangey red. It's very highly saturated, and you can kind of see, yes, it is. So let's click on a 10R, which I think is this one. Right. Now you can, to get swatches up, you can click over here, like so. So that is the Munsell chip. That is the actual image color. In this case, they're the same because this is an accurate Munsell wheel. But you can also click on any one of these swatches as well. So what have we got? We've got 10R514, this one. Okay, it'll tell you what it is. That on it. Now, your phone will look dim and you'll think, well, that's far darker than a mid value, but I think you might be surprised. Let's put the chip next to it. We know this color is 10R514. ChromaMagic says it's 10R514. Let's see if they match. Right, I'm going to put it, I like to put it just to the right a bit. I think that matches pretty well for me. Ever so slightly darker maybe, although it's difficult because I'm angling my chip slightly. The angle of the chip, that, I mean, to my eyes, that looks bang on. Definitely. And when you put the chips right next to, if you have chips, when you put them right next to it, the very, very slight differences are apparent. And if I put it here next to it, you think, well, yeah, that's the same color, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's good. 10R514, check. Let's try another one. What else have I got? Let's do a dark one, actually. This is a dark one, but it's a high chroma dark. I think this is a 10R2. Yeah, there's a value 2, and it's a chroma 6. So this is the highest chroma chip I have in a 10R, value 6. The screen has a slightly higher chroma, but I can't have those in paint, right? 2.6, 2.4, 2.6. Bring up swatch. Let me put this next to it. Oh yeah, well, I mean, that looks good to me. The camera pricks up slightly different color hues. It has slightly different color shift, and also your screen might have a slightly different color shift. Yeah, that looks good to me. I'd be happy with that. The value's right, the chroma is right, the hue is right. Yeah, no, we're sorted with that one. Okay, let's do another one. And I should say, if you want to see this in action, Paul Foxton did a fabulous stream of some pansies, beautiful saturated colours, some low chroma colours. I think it's how to paint shadows. It's really nice stream. I'll put a link to it in the comments when this video goes up. All right, okay. So I should just recap. This is all you need to do to calibrate ChromaMagic on your phone. Change the brightness so it matches, the white matches a piece of white paper. Let me use my scale again. If that is right, could have gone maybe slightly down in brightness. Shall I tweak that a bit? But these are really subtle changes. Just tweak that slightly. Ding, ding, ding. Now we're looking, I'm checking it with my eyes. I'm checking on, oh, that's better, isn't it? Yes, yes. But it was a tweak. It was a tweak. Let's just go back and check that 5R one again. I get a bit obsessed about this. It's, apologies. 514. Which one was this? It was this one, wasn't it? Let's put him next to it. Yeah, it's a bit. It looks good on. It looks good to my eyes. You're gonna have to trust me. It looks good to my eyes. Maybe I'll just tweak this. No, I won't tweak this. Let's be honest. I was going to tweak it so it looked the same on the screen there as it looks to my eyes, but let's not do that. Right. Okay, so we've done that one. We've done the dark one. We've got another red one here. It's a mid value, but it's a lower chroma, so it's slightly grayer. It's the same value as this, but slightly grayer. So let's see what it does with this. 5.8, I think it is. 5.8. Click on it. Let's have a look. That looks pretty good to me. Pretty good to me. It's great for my eyes. It's absolutely perfect for my eyes. Maybe I can. Yeah, it depends on the angle of my hand as well. Yeah, I mean if you had the chips, you could match a color to the chip, but hey, you can match it to the screen. Pretty cool. Let's try some more. I've got a yellow here. Oh, let's do a low chroma. Oh, now low chroma ones show more variation, I find, than the higher chroma ones. Now I'm in the middle of recalibrating all the settings for all of these colors. So I'm hoping to improve these, but they're still pretty good. So this is a 5Y, 7.2. 5Y, 7.2. It's fairly light, you know, it's in the top half of the value scale and it's very low chroma. So let's have a look at this. That looks pretty good to me. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I don't think you can complain about that much at all. So we don't need the chips. You just need a piece of white paper and ChromaMagic and the swatches, and we're good to go. Great. What else have I got? Let's try some. I'd like to try a couple of blues and a green, just to sort of take you the whole way around the wheel. I mean, I could do this probably for the rest of today, which would probably bore the pants off you, but I will try not to do that. Right, so I've got a blue, and it's a 10B, so it's a slightly greenish blue, quite light, and it's a sort of mid to high chroma here. Okay, so let's find the 10B. And what did I say? Whoops, 7.8. All right, and let's put this next to it. Well, that looks good to me. Looks good to me. To my eyes on screen, it looks ever so slightly light, but you're going to have to trust me, it looks good. Why the camera screen comes across differently, I don't know, but it does. Let me just, I'm going to angle it so it looks the same to my eyes. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Nice. Let's just try one more blue. This is a low chroma blue. I'm always a bit worried about the low chromas on these things. I think they're the hardest ones to get on the screens. It tend to be 7.2. All right. Well, no, that looks fine to me too. That looks fine to me. I'm going to angle it so it matches what I'm seeing. Yeah. The hue is maybe slightly, I mean, I'm really splitting hairs. Really splitting hairs here. Yeah. No. Oh, one final one. Let's do a green. This is a nice saturated green. It's actually a green yellow, I think. Let's try green yellow. It's this one. This again is a 710, and I'm mainly doing them kind of in the higher values because the darker ones I've found they just match. So I'm kind of picking the ones I know that are tricky. Is this 710? Yes, 710. All right. Oh boy, yeah. Oh boy, I'm just gonna. That to me is perfect. Perfect match. Nice. I mean, yeah, you could split hairs and say, yeah, there are slight differences, but hey, the values are correct. The hues are correct. The chromas are correct. I think we're all good. I'm actually quite impressed how well this works, to be honest. Right, so just to recap, you don't need to do all this stuff with the chips. Let me just tell you what you need to do. Bring up a swatch of white, and if you go into the help, press the little question mark, tap and hold the wheel, drag it over, and then tap the white swatch. Get your value scale or a piece of white paper, match that value by changing the brightness. Now usually my phone's up here, which is far too bright, as you can see. Bring the brightness down until they match. Still a bit too bright. Now they match. Still a bit too bright. I've actually got natural light coming in and the light is varying a little bit. Yeah, so that is what you need to do. And once you've done that, match white on the screen to the white in real life, and you'll be able to match any color accurately across the whole Munsell color space. Great. Well, I hope that worked well. I hope that was informative. I think it worked well. I would quite happily go on for another couple of hours, but I won't. And again, if you want to see it in action in painting, go over to Paul Foxton's YouTube channel, and he has a live stream of some pansies where he uses it, and he uses it live, and he mixes colors and he matches them to the screen. It's a masterclass, absolute masterclass. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope that was useful. And if you have any questions, please leave me comments, or yeah, leave me comments, and I will happily respond. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.